What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Nard coming to you live and direct. Another week, another day. I want to thank everybody for their support, everybody for tuning in and listening, and I truly appreciate it. Don't forget, get at me at Pros Vols on Twitter, or like I said, if you want to email me, my email handle is chathamog at iCloud.com. Send me any questions, any feedback, just anything. All right, y'all, I got a special guest with me this week. None other than a Chatham legend, my uncle, the hardest working brother that I know.
Yeah.
So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, I'm here. Like he said, Chatham legend. This is the one and only B. Brian Stallworth, be nice in the building. I just want to say what's up to all the C Squad, Chatham Squad. And I'm here.
Hey, so listen. Now, what we're going to talk about today is all heroes ain't heroes.
All right.
Now, obviously, we from Chicago. And this gentleman sitting next to me on my left, the greatest living legend out of Chicago, he has some interesting takes on him. So, if y'all still trying to figure out who I'm talking about, none other than MJ, Big Mike. Now, this guy, the only guy I know from Chicago who don't necessarily consider MJ a hero or a Superman. So, I just wanted to get his thoughts on MJ.
Well, just to clear the air with everybody, I know I'm labeled as the Jordan hater. Don't know why. Hey, big respect for MJ, but it's just certain things that's out there that's not questionable, but others have done, that they're not getting credit for. Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of course. If you look at the history of him, the full dynamic of his body of work subsedes him over Michael Jordan is probably the greatest. You have, of course, Bill Russell, if you want to go into the chips. He has, of course, 11. And Wilt Chamberlain is always getting outcast and pushed aside. So there's some not questionable things, but things that's out there that people just label him as the greatest.
So at what point did you take reservation to Mike? Like what happened, or what did you see that you was like, man, this dude ain't that?
Well, he has game. But if you look back on Julius Erving, if you look back on Earl the Pro or Oscar, Jordan is just a mirror of them. That's why Kobe gets slighted even now. That it's not Jordan's fault. He had a template before him. It's not Kobe's fault that he had a template before him. Mike did spectacular things, but Mike struggled. People forget that. See, it's years that Mike struggled that people erase. The first 7 years, perhaps, or that back wizardry type of years that he was in that people forget. They only want to base, the 6 and 6. And if you remember, he was considered or was told that he's the great after he won 3 rings, right? So I'm just trying to find out how could you have him in that. He did nothing in the 80s. Right? He only had one decade, which was the 90s, that he was great in. And, of course, we know what happened in the 2000s. Too many cigars, too many beers.
Oh, man. Y'all hear this guy? y'all hear this guy? By the way, this guy's Kobe's his favorite player. So
Kobe is the greatest player.
So I just want to throw that out there, let everybody know. If everybody listens, because I know there's a lot of people sitting with their mouth open. Not about Kobe being his favorite player, but just about some of the thoughts that he have on Mike.
Well, I do want to say this. I do want to give him credit, right? There's 3 guys that played in our history that I put labels on. I was considered Jordan as the greatest force, right? That's not pushing Wilt Chamberlain aside because he was a dominant force, but Jordan was that guy that you circled, right? The Chicago Bulls was that team that you circled, and people feared Jordan coming into the game. LeBron is the greatest athlete. No one has ever seen that size, that vision, that determination, and having nothing. No Hall of Fame coaches to coach him up. He's out of high school and various things. Kobe is the greatest skill player. Just footwork to jump shot to everything that embodied. And I said this earlier. He had templates, of course. So if I have something to look at, I can build on, mirror it, and then perfect it. So
now, I mean, I often say, and I was having this conversation with somebody the other day while we talking about body of works, right? Like, and I understand what you're saying, but body of works in the way sports have become is you only as great as the championships you win.
Oh yeah,
like
of course.
So no matter how good you are, because I've seen outstanding talents in the NBA, but I was just telling somebody that it's one guy. If this guy ran off and won 2 championships in the next couple of years, they'll probably put him in the top 10 greatest players of all time. Now, just off of sheer numbers, and if he goes on to win any championships, if Russell Westbrook went on to win 2 or 3 championships, they'll put him in the top 7 players of all time. Just off of his sheer numbers, averaging a triple-double 2 years in a row, his athletic ability, he would be considered one of the top 10, the top 7 greatest players. Right now, you can make a case for him being one of the top 50, but the championships tend to put you over the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
or not having him further away.
Exactly. Yeah. Either or. So, and that's what we're seeing right now with him and a lot of players. James Harden. And, I mean, you put a couple of championships on these guys' resumes, and now you have to look at them. I mean, basing it off of what we know of basketball and everything, because the numbers are there. The only thing that's lacking is the championships.
Right.
So now you add championships to those numbers. How do you not put these guys as the elite of all time in that category or in that conversation?
Well, you have to. Because we're looking at not only, like you alluded to, skill, numbers, and the body of work. These guys are phenomenal. When you start looking at talent, and you're not slighting the past, but Joe Dumars can't hold a candle to Dwayne Wade.
No.
In talent. That's not dissing Joe Dumars, but that's just saying that, the talent level is different. And as you so eloquently put it about Westbrook, he would be considered one of the top 5 point guards to ever play. If his tenacity,
without a doubt.
Oh man, if his skills would have developed a little bit faster and the numbers got up, but for the things that he's doing on the back end now, oh man, it's incredible.
And I mean, what's your interpretation? What's your take on that? Like, do a guy have to have championships to be considered great?
But in my day, no. I mean, you got guys like Patrick Ewing that was, man, incredible, right?
Right.
Center, but because no chips, Luke Longley looks better. Is that fair?
That's crazy.
Is that fair? No, it's not. But nowadays, that's why you have that movement. You have guys that's going to other teams like Durant. They call it chasing rings. I call it, building legacy.
Right,
because that number counts.
Yeah, because they know that you only as good as the championships you have.
Only. And what you've done in them.
Yes. They would consider you a great player if you average 15 and won a championship than if you average 30 and didn't win one your whole career.
Yeah, like you Bernard King or somebody.
Yeah.
That should be right there, but no, because he didn't
win one. Right. I mean,
of course he gets pushed back,
Like a lot of players.
Iceman Gervin, you can go down the list.
Yeah. And I mean, it's they misconstrue in my mind this whole this killer instinct and it took a team to win it, and sometimes guys haven't been as fortunate as other guys to have a good team or a good coach, or like I always say, it only could be one championship, one champion every year.
That's it.
And it's hard to catch it. And now as a result, you see guys jumping ship, going to join teams to create.
Or you can get sheer lucky like Kawhi Leonard in that capacity. It's not taking anything away from him, but the luck charm was raining on him last year. I mean, you look at the whole dynamic. He didn't make, to my opinion, Toronto that much better, because I think DeRozan could have done the same job with the same production that he got from his teammates. DeRozan never had that, supporting cast on that Toronto team.
Yeah, and a lot of the Toronto players have developed. Pascal,
oh man,
Siakam, Freddie,
Van
Fleet. All these guys had
17. They was averaging 17, 15 a game. Yeah. He never had that. But that's not hating on Kawhi. Kawhi is a champion before that. But let's not anoint him as being who he is, because I don't think he's the guy that we think that he is.
And I definitely could see it. I definitely could see what you're saying on that. I mean, I've never just been impressed by his game per se. I am sometimes impressed by the way he has an uncanny ability to make shots.
Oh yeah,
down
he
the
reminds
stretch.
you of old school. Like, he has that no care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people feel. Like a Westbrook, I'm gonna come to play, and I don't care who's in front of me.
But also, you said something about Westbrook, and I think about a lot of players, and we talked about the template and different things like that, right? So, I'm under the impression after watching these guys, right? Like, I watched basketball my whole life, and they talk about these. I think a lot of guys perpetrate a personality because they heard the media talk about it. So now that's not really them, but I'm a growl and make my face turned up, and instantly they anoint me that, oh, this guy's a killer. He got the killer instinct. Not necessarily, because I watched you bitch up, 4 or 5 times down the stretch.
Yeah.
So
those that don't have the league pass see all these.
Yeah,
things,
exactly.
But let me make everything clear. I want all the fans, I want all the audience to remember that you're watching entertainment. Remember that.
Yes.
This is not their lives. This is who they're trying to portray to be in the light of us. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, the killer instinct and the tenacity and the anger and all that. These guys aren't like you think they are. They're not going to fight.
No.
They're not tough.
No.
This is how you make your money. You're not going to fight with your hands.
No.
This is how they make their money, and it's all pure entertainment. You got some real dudes out there.
Yes.
that retired. David West. You got some real dudes. Mourning. You got some real dudes out there that's about that life.
Yeah. But even then, they put it in perspective. That,
of course. It's
like,
business.
It's business.
It's business.
What job I'm going to work that I can, earn this type of living. And
oh, man.
And, and so as much as, even all these guys that you see that's, in people's faces, they understand, like,
yeah, listen, it's all a show.
It's all a show.
It's building up the NBA. It's building up publicity on it. It's trying to create rivals that don't exist, in that capacity. We know back in the day it was the Boston and the Lakers and the Bulls and Boston, Detroit. But they're trying to fabricate something now.
So what's your take on the Carmelo Anthony situation?
Oh, man. I'm glad you brought Carmelo up.
What's your take on that? Should he have been in the league longer?
Well...
or was it... We know he's capable.
Yeah.
Was it just his reputation that kept him out? Because I always said he was getting the Iverson treatment. Because
definitely.
I felt like Iverson still had in different roles you can still be productive. But we hear a lot of stuff from the media.
Right.
But what's your take on that?
Definitely blackballed. For what reason, we will never know. He is getting the Iverson treatment. He is one of the well, let me break it down like this. There's 450 players in the league, right? So there's 30 teams. I will give you the first top 5, or the starting 5, right? That gives you 150 players. Carmelo is better than some of those 150, but look at the back end of the 300 players. We just watched this brother the other night start.
First game back,
averaging what he's doing. The other night, 18 and 7. He deserves to be in the league, which brings me back to your boy Jordan.
the self-proclaimed Jordan hater, y'all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's go back to Mr. Michael Jordan. What you guys consider the greatest player that
this guy, him and John Sally don't take no
prisoners, none.
With Mike.
Where's Mike at this moment? Here it is. Carmelo is under his umbrella, wearing his shoes and all that. He owns a team. The majority owner, Jordan, the first black athlete majority owner, right? We have Magic and Isaiah, various guys. But he's the majority owner.
91%.
91% that can say, okay, Melo, come on over here. Now, I want to send the comments, to Big Nard. Give me 5 players that play on Charlotte right now. I want everybody.
I mean,
to
I
comment
can
on
because
that.
I watch.
Of course,
sports,
but give me 5 players on this team that's better than Melo.
Oh, you saying better?
That's better than Melo.
Good point.
Pull the trigger. When is Mike finally going to step up into the 2020? Because, he's still stuck. I believe what Jay Will said. He's still stuck in the 90s. It goes back to your episodes where if you can go back to a period of time, right?
Okay.
That Mike is still living 1991 with the hoop in his ear, with the shoulder pads, right? He can never come up out of this. Okay? And he still think he can play. That has been his Achilles heel this whole time.
He's a nut.
He needs help. I agree. I will loan him my glasses so he can see talent. Do your history. Do your homework. Look back at all the drafts in the last 10 years on guys that he passed up on. And you tell me if he's the greatest or not.
True. Now, I can't say this because this guy was on his way out. And he did give this guy a shot.
Who? Tony Parker?
Dwight Howard and Tony Parker.
Tony Parker.
He did give both of them a shot.
Yeah. Guys going out.
Yeah, he did.
True.
He did. And now, as we see a resurrection with Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
He's playing well. And we could arguably say if they didn't sign him, he would be getting the Melo treatment right now.
Oh, he'll be at the house.
Yeah, so
he'll be at the house chilling.
I mean,
so if you were to give him that
I mean, just those two. But I understand what you're saying with the Melo being under Jordan for 15 years.
But let's look at the bigger picture. All right, I'm only gonna take a few seconds with this. Jordan is considered the greatest player ever, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be like Mike, dress like Mike, and I
don't know about dress. I don't wear wide leg jeans. But
they're wearing the shoes.
Right. The shoes
with the shoes and stuff like that.
I never was into wide leg jeans.
When you think, and let's go into the history of being black. He's the first black majority owner.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't guys signed up, lined up, and ran to Charlotte to bring him a championship? Why don't you have guys like Westbrook? Westbrook was out there, got traded, right? Crazy.
But I think a lot of guys don't even want to go there. Like, it's Charlotte.
We can't say small market. San Antonio's been a small market all this time. Yeah. Miami is a small market. It's just that they recruit because of weather.
It's Miami.
It's Miami.
Wow.
You even have OKC. I mean, you got guys.
Well, OKC was benefited from having the greatest
and Durant. Yeah,
having the greatest GM as far as talent.
That's true. That's true.
That GM Sam Presti.
He's a beast.
His talent.
Oh, he's a beast.
His alpha talent.
Yeah.
I mean, one guy in the last 12 years that drafted 3 MVPs.
Yeah.
Is absurd.
Yeah.
So
2-time.
Yeah.
MVPs. Yeah. And all these guys won scoring titles.
Yes.
All these guys won triple double.
I mean, we're talking arguably guys that's in the top guys of all time in the league. He drafted 3 of them within a year of each other.
And even Jackson just been paying out. Yeah. Injuries. So you could add Jackson.
You could add Jackson to it. You could add what's the kid name? Who now he a journeyman, but he had the talent. Well, he just didn't pan out. Jeff Green.
Oh yeah. So that eye for talent was on point. But where's Mike at? Where's Mike in all these things?
He holding Mike accountable.
I'm the only one to hold Mike accountable. Everybody else want to gloss over. Oh, he's Mike. Let's hold Mike accountable like we held Obama accountable, like we held Donald Trump accountable. Let's hold all these mishaps that Mike is doing accountable.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
Now I'm gonna ask this guy this because he is, like my other show, sort of the middle child in a couple of generations, being with me, being with his older siblings. And so give me your top 10 greatest players of all time.
Wow.
I had to put him on the spot.
Top to bottom, right? Top to bottom?
Yeah, it don't have to be in no specific order.
Okay, well, of course, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest to me. If you look at the body of work, the history, the 3 in high school, 3 in college, should have got the 4th one, but freshmen couldn't play in the championship game.
Yes, sir.
You got 6 in the league. You got the most points. You got 5 MVPs. You guys could just Google all this. It's right there.
Yes, sir.
And let me say this: most points ever in a center that played on
who had to get the ball from somebody.
Magic, Worthy. You can go down to Oscar. He played with all these guys. Magic is there. Of course, my boy Kobe is there. LeBron is there. Jordan is there, of course. Wilt Chamberlain.
That's 5.
You have Bill Russell.
That's 6.
And now we're gonna filter down, into the back end. And a lot of guys probably gonna be mad, but Steph Curry,
No doubt,
is right there. Durant will be right there. A lot of people may disagree or agree. I think that's 7.
Yeah, that's 7
or 8.
No, that's 8. That's 8. You said Durant.
And then we're looking at 2 more that I might be missing in there. People may question Bird and kind of put Bird there.
Okay, and go ahead, finish your list, and then I want to ask you another question.
Yeah, they may put Bird there, and then that 10th one is, we could just
throw somebody.
Throw some Wade, or you can throw some people in.
Yeah. So Bird, a lot of people say Bird better than LeBron.
No.
And especially a lot of guys that's in their 50s and older. Oh yeah, Bird was a bad dude. And I was fortunate enough to be around when Bird was playing, and he was good. But one thing I did see is Bird only played about 8 seasons.
Well, 7. Right.
And in those 8 seasons was tremendous.
Yeah.
But would you put Bird over LeBron, or as even, number 2 or 3 top small forwards of all time?
No. LeBron is the best, the greatest power forward. The small forward ever played. Worthy is 2nd. Gervin, you got him in there. Bird he's maybe 10.
Yeah, this guy.
Small forwards. You got Tracy McGrady. I could go through the list of dudes that head and shoulders better than Durant. Come on,
Durant. Yeah.
I can go.
Well, give me your top 5. It don't even have to be 5. Most overrated players of all time that they give a lot of love to. Tim Duncan. The big fundamentals.
Is overrated. We all know that.
I would agree.
Karl Malone is the greatest power forward, and Barkley is right in there. But yeah, Tim Duncan definitely overrated. John Stockton is overrated.
Agree.
People gonna hate me on this one. Scottie Pippen is a little overrated,
in my opinion too, and I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, he's a little overrated in there. The next 2 in small forward or period.
Just period.
Oh wow. David Robinson.
The Admiral. Shouts out to the Admiral.
The Admiral is overrated, quite a bit.
The Admiral had a lot of talent though.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? Like I understand that Tim Duncan, but like David Robinson, I think it was his demeanor.
It was.
But as far as his talent, he had talent. Like, if you he was a freak athlete at that time.
But remember, he got dominated by every center in his day. He got dominated. It was just a combination of being, on that San Antonio team. And Kawhi Leonard is overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got him as being overrated.
So let me ask you this, because this is another guy that we gloss over. I'm a fan of this guy. Is Steve Nash overrated? Is he better than John Stockton?
Yes. I would love to play with Steve Nash. Steve Nash brings another dimension, to the game. He's definitely not overrated.
Yeah.
He just got caught into that.
Didn't win a championship.
Dumb Tony. I'm sorry. Dan Tony. Dumb Tony system. Right.
Now, okay. Now, who's the greatest coach of all time? Is it Phil? Now, I know he's coached your favorite player and the player you hate the most.
Well, if you want to give a coach a credit, as far as being the greatest, it'll be Tex Winters, the one that implemented
Rest in peace to Tex.
Rest in peace to
Tex.
If you really want to look at the scope of things like that. But Larry Brown, he's a hell of a coach. Doc Rivers is a hell of a coach.
True story.
In development. But, of course, Phil and Popovich will be there.
So, who is the most underrated players that you can think of?
Oh, wow. Klay Thompson
is
number 1. Underrated player that's in the league right now.
And over time. Over time, too.
And over time.
Yeah, players that you like. He had it, but they don't give him enough juice.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Chris Jackson.
Still looking good in the big three.
Still looking good in the big three. Joe Johnson.
It's
another one that
a lot of people don't get Joe.
Underrated.
Yes.
In that
21,000 career points.
Oh man. Very underrated.
These guys didn't win championships.
I'm gonna say this one guy I know everybody's gonna agree to. Rod Strickland.
Arguably the best point guard you've ever heard of. Yes.
Yeah. Under the rim player, man, under the rim point guard. He is underrated.
Phenomenal. I love that dude when I was young.
Yeah.
I mean, ball handling, getting to the basket. I mean, he was tremendous.
And for a short stint of time, Ron Harper.
Yeah.
In his Cleveland days.
Yeah.
People don't remember the Cleveland days. They remember, of course, the Lakers and
Stuttering Ron.
Stuttering Ron.
Shouts out to Ron Harper.
Yeah, but definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to switch gears and touch on something else, but it's still pertaining to basketball. It's still pertaining to sports.
Okay.
So you think that collegiate athletes should be paid for their services?
You're damn right. I think it's something that could be, just implemented and incorporated into their full rides with the money that's sitting there. That way it helps them.
I mean, because it's a lot of money. I mean, these guys got billion-dollar contracts.
Well, let's look at the bigger numbers to it. I mean, most high-end universities, you're looking at about $40,000 a year off of 4 years, so you're about $200,000. Why not add another $100,000 to that and pay them $20,000 a year? Of course, that comes given. I'm not saying any work-study program or anything like that. I'm saying, hey, you an elite player like Anthony Davis in there.
Because athletes can't do work study. They don't have no time.
We can't.
They don't have no time. Like you are a commodity at this point.
Is.
Like
it's bad enough they don't go to class.
Right. And as much as they try to push the whole school aspect, these guys, this 5-star athletes, they not really going to school. Like they there to be a stud on the team.
That's what they are. I mean, from a football stand, definitely football for sure. They should get paid. And how it's constructed, I guess, it's the level of recruitment. If you're number one out there, of course, you should get the higher end. And then, of course, if you're a walk-on, you should be, accommodated in some type of way. That's how I feel. If you make that team, you should, because it's a lot of alumni money that's going around, a lot of NCAA money,
a lot of TV money. Around.
I never seen so many bowl games created.
Yes, it's a lot of TV money.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, they should get paid, man.
It's a lot of network money going on.
If you don't want to pay them, then let them go.
Let them go straight to the league.
Let them go straight to the league. Release that and let them go.
No, because they know then that it would take a hit to their bottom line if you let these dudes go to the league.
There's got to be something.
All these players like, no. Even now you're seeing it with guys just like, I'm gonna sit out and train.
Yeah, or the killjoy is now the one and done. Now the options has opened up to go overseas because you got to be 1 year removed. So I can go overseas like Melo Ball.
And what are we really talking about with the one and done? Like you can't graduate in 1 year. So no. I never understood that.
No,
I never understood like. You have to come 1 year. It seemed like it's more pigeonholing you to have to come there. Because I'm not going to class. After I'm taking all gym classes, and once I'm eligible for the second half of the season,
I'm quite sure Zion didn't even see a classroom.
No.
Right? Because I watched this kid out of high school, of course, through YouTube like everybody else. But no. At Duke, he just went to games. He went to practice and games.
He went to gym class, and they marked him off.
That's it.
If he even went there.
And that's not question, don't get me wrong, audience, that's not question his intelligence. I'm quite sure he's a very smart kid. But that doesn't matter, right? Nobody goes to class.
Right. And why is it such a difference? Like, if you're a phenomenon in something else, like, if you're a phenomenon in another sport, or you're a pianist that's a phenomenon, like, why are the rules different for the athlete as opposed to, or the basketball player as opposed to everything else?
Because it's bigger money. You just alluded to it. It's a cash cow. It's a cash cow for recruitment, a cash cow for the athletes. Well, baseball is not there because you can get recruited, at the age of 16, 17.
It's never
major league teams.
There's never anything said about that.
Never.
It's tennis.
Oh man,
tennis.
Exactly.
Golf.
So, but we know the main hitters are football and basketball. So that's where the cash cow is.
Yeah, they draw the TV revenue in for the school.
Football owns Sundays. They own the Lord's Day.
Period. I mean,
if you look at Monday and Thursday, and then on playoffs, they own Saturday. So basketball, same thing. That's where the biggest money is. Who's the next LeBron?
Yeah.
So that's
everybody trying to predict the next best. All right, we're gonna switch gears one more time. We got to go into sports analysts.
Oh, yeah.
Now, me and you was just having a conversation last night. And you was showing me some clips, and sports analysts ruined sports for me to the point where I don't even hardly watch them no more because I feel like they push a narrative, and they, sway you into a direction. Like I could watch the game. I could watch a game and be like, "Oh, that dude got off," and then they'll push another guy that got off, and I'm like, he ain't even really doing that.
Exactly.
So now it's a specific sports analyst that you got a bone to pick with. So go ahead and speak out.
Everybody knows who this guy is. Stephen A. Smith, on the ESPN First Take. Somebody need to tell him to shut his ass up.
Oh, man. Y'all hear
all this cooning that he's doing out here is ridiculous. This last instant with Kaepernick, he jumped the gun like he always do with no information. And it's sad that T.O. had to call him out on the show and say that Max is blacker than him. Stephen A. always want to be that guy that's in the streets, as he can recall. I don't know what that means because I'm in the street too. Like I walk down the street, but he's not in the hood. That's what T.O. was saying, that he's in the streets. That means I'm going to Inglewood. I'm walking, downtown.
Right.
I'm on 79th Street.
Right.
Stephen A. is not there. Stephen A. is in Naperville. He's in Smyrna. He's he's not in the heart and soul of the streets. And I don't know what connections he have with the NFL or with Jay-Z or whatever, but he kissed a lot of butt. And it was just sad in this last capacity that he took the NFL side. He took allegedly Jay-Z side. I don't know why they keep throwing Jay-Z in there. Jay-Z is just a organizer for the Super Bowl halftime show. He holds no significance in the NFL for anything else. It's a good old boys league, and he doesn't look like one. He looks like Jay-Z. Looks like J.J. Evans.
But, yeah, y'all gotta love this controversial guy we got right here with us.
But other than that, he always put his foot in his mouth. He always looks crazy, and he always, if you notice, he down us. Stephen A. don't uprise us. He always kill people, kill our black people on the shows. He always try to boost himself as being greater than who he think he is. So he's Tomming out there. We understand. It's a $9 million contract. We understand.
We understand. Now, is it any other sports analysts out there that you take issue with?
Charles Barkley.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God. I mean, what did... do he wear pants or do he wear a skirt? I mean, it's like...
This guy crazy,
How
y'all.
soon you forget, not because you forgot who you were out there on the court and how you acted. And now all of a sudden, you're a saint now. Things is wrong and guys is this. I love your opinions. I have to value those. But come on, man. Like Chris Carter said, come on, man.
Well, at least he played the game, though. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
a lot of people,
played.
we look at him like, oh, he ain't played. At least he played the game.
Oh, definitely, he played the game. But,
at least he know.
But he forgot. Guys get into altercations. He forget.
Yeah.
That him and Shaq went at it. That he was on that tail end of when Dr. J was drilling Larry Bird. Go back to the film when Moses Malone had him in a headlock.
Yeah, I remember
We'll go to
all
that.
too well.
Yeah, Rick Bucher is another one. Rick Bucher, he's...
Tell him why you mad.
Rick Bucher will sell you out. He would smudge your name out there. If you get a chance, go see my boy Derrick Rose. He did an outstanding interview with Will Perdue just recently. He explained why Rick Bucher is who Rick Bucher is. He would take your words, he would twist it, and he would smudge your name. He's ridiculous.
And Rick Bucher seems such a nice guy.
Yeah. Oh man, you could. He was just on Speak for Yourself.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Sure.
About the Kaepernick situation. And yeah.
Well, man.
Oh,
go ahead.
Real quick. What's his name on Speak for Yourself? The Teletubby.
Jason Whitlock.
Yeah, Whitlock that couldn't play with friends when he was younger. Let's go to that guy. That guy looks horrible. He looks like Humpty Dumpty sitting up there.
Oh, man.
Right? He had no friends. You could tell he had no friends with the comments that he made. So, yeah, let's put him in there. And I'm going to add one more guy. We're going to, I guess, close out the show a little bit. Marcellus Wiley.
Wild style.
Yeah, he's in that Charles Barkley starter kit. He's Charles Barkley starter kit right now. Because he forgot he played.
Yeah, I mean,
he totally forgot.
Get the bright lights guy.
He totally forgot.
They getting the bright lights and they like.
He totally forgot he played.
Yeah, they getting the bright lights and they like, oh.
So yeah, that's my top 5.
Oh man, top 5 analysts.
Well,
y'all, we gonna get into my legend of the week and everything.
Well, before I get into my legend of the week, I want to give you all my quote of the week. I'm sorry. And my quote of the week is pay it forward. And with Christmas being upon us and so many people are less fortunate. And if you can do anything to pay it forward, meaning give back or help out a little bit, do so. Interesting story I had. I was in the McDonald's drive-thru here recently, and I got all the way around, and I was kind of frustrated and everything like that. And I got to the window, and the woman said, "Well, the woman in front of me just paid for you," and it touched my heart, to think that it's truly good people out here during the holidays that are trying to spread cheer and spread good vibes, as opposed to the negativity that we see on the news and things like that often. So to that woman who paid for my breakfast, thank you very much. And my song of the week is by Frank Ocean, and it's called Godspeed. And it's a very, very dope song. My little sister, shouts out to Brittany, turned me on to that album. And the song, it's just the vibe I'm feeling right now. It's like I tell y'all, nothing I do is planned. I just hit record and go. So my legend of the week, to get back to that, is a person that's near and dear to me. You all are familiar with them. Actually, we just spoke to them. None other than my Uncle Brian. Be nice. Now, my uncle is my legend of the week. Not for anything he's ever done for me or anything like that. But as a kid, especially as a boy, you look for a person that's relatable but older to emulate. Who's a little wiser, who does the things that you think are cool. And when I say this guy did everything that I thought was cool, that helped shape and mold me into the man that I am today. From cutting hair. I cut hair and been cutting hair for years because I watched my uncle master the skill of cutting hair. The way he can light up the room and work a room and entertain and host. I took notes as a kid, whether I mentally took notes or it was just in my subconscious, because this is the guy I wanted to emulate. We grew up more like brothers than uncle and nephew because we so close in age. His long-lasting relationship with his wife, down to him working on cars, and that's his passion and his hobby. Even today in our lives, I still take notice and say, that's something to look to. His hard working, him being a go-getter and always positive. All these things will burn deep into my mind and my subconscious. And I find myself today the man that I am because I was around this guy. From my earliest hip-hop influences, Tribe Called Quest, Redman, EPMD, Digital Underground, KRS-One, to my earliest movies, The Last Dragon, Crush Groove, Beat Street, Breaking 1 and 2. All of these things helped shape me and gave me the well-roundedness I needed to have to be able to maneuver in the life that was set out for me. Even down to being a backup dancer in New Edition, or So We Played at the house. Him and my aunt being Bobby and Ralph, and me being a backup dancer with a comb in my hand. This guy means the world to me. And we still remain close to this day. And he's still on my Mount Rushmore of men that I look to. So my legend of the week is none other than Mr. B Nice, the hardest working man in the business. I love you, dog. Well, this concludes another week of the Pros and Convos show. We got Christmas upon us. I want everybody to be safe out there. Watch yourself, lock your doors, watch your children. It's a joyous time, but it's a lot of people who got unfortunate situations, and misery love company. So I hope everybody have a wonderful Christmas, and I'm sure it may be a special episode segment coming up prior to that. But if I don't have one, Merry Christmas to all.